It seems incredibly obvious when you say it out loud, but entertainment, just like other commodities, is a product which is manufactured. The artifact that you engage with, whether it be an album from your favourite artist, a Netflix stand-up special, or the latest episode of a soap opera, has been through an industrial process, which has been laboured over by a team who have received instruction from a manager, who is to ensure that the product they produce has a value, a benefit that the end receptor of the piece can derive from the work that has been created. It can be argued that the industrial nature of modern TV has resulted in standardised production techniques. Because of this, these have created formulaic outputs with uniform and interchangeable conventions, tropes, and ideas which reflect the status quo, so that they will appeal to the widest possible audience. These productions we will call mass culture for ease. However, the term is misleading and suggests that the masses are the true producers of culture, whereas in fact, according to philosophers like Max Horkheimer and Theodore Adorno, they are the victims of it. In their text Dialectic of Enlightenment, Horkheimer and Adorno coined the term culture industry to describe this process of creating media within the capitalist landscape. They theorised that pop culture was this instrument of economic and political control, which enforced conformity. They believed that cultural works which were produced in this manner offered the freedom to choose what is always the same. It was their assertion that mass culture was there to ensure the continued obedience of the masses to market interests, impose social practices, and standardise the imagination. For them, culture does not allow individuals to express their desires and creativity, but reduces them to the status of consumers, condemned to passivity. As another philosopher, Slavoj Žižek, states, "Cinema is the ultimate pervert art. It doesn't give you what you desire, it tells you how to desire." Adorno went as far to state that he felt that the entertainment industry was just as mechanical, formulaic, and hierarchical as the workplace itself. He argued that humans were programmed to work even during their leisure. It was his belief that we were still trapped in the machinery of capitalism when we engage with entertainment. It's just that we have moved from one end of the production line to the other, from producer to consumer. Industrial-produced mass culture prevents an audience from engaging critically with society, and replaces authentic thought with more sanitised desires and thoughts that are preferable for obedient, placid workers who will continue to consume. For this reason, Adorno felt that the culture industry would never permit a sufficient core of challenging material to emerge in the market that might disturb the status quo. However, Adorno and Horkheimer do not take into account the emancipatory potential that can come from popular culture. There are forms of counterculture that develop in the margins of market logic, even at first purposefully trying to fight against it. However, it might be argued that such movements express an imaginary challenge to the existing order. They are merely a thinly veiled part of the culture industry that they are proclaiming not to be a part of. Either that, or because of the fluid nature of capitalism, they are absorbed into it, so as to mute any potential upheaval. No matter the struggle against the hegemony, many have argued that the counterculture is eventually absorbed entirely and becomes another stall within the culture industry. As Jean Baudrillard outlines in The Conspiracy of Art, as soon as you enter the system to denounce it, you are automatically made a part of it. You can see that those who make accusations against the political class are the same ones who replenish it. The class is fed by the accusations made against it. Even the bluntest critic is caught up in the circularity. Walter Benjamin was much more open to the radical potential of mass-produced culture. He believed that popular media could be marshalled to revolutionary ends, which he termed reception in distraction. Benjamin considered that an audience would see the works before them and internalise the messages present in them, and begin to question the rules of society. However, he never quite specifies how a creator would be able to sustain an explicitly radical agenda within the commercial mainstream. If Adorno and Horkheimer were to look upon the cultural landscape of the 21st century, they might discover that all their fears have been realised. The superstars of popular culture dominate the media across the spectrum of high and lowbrow publications, shaping their identities to fit with the audiences who engage with them. However, the internet offers the most concrete evidence that Adorno and Horkheimer's ideas about the cultural industry prevail in the 21st century. Culture is dominated by a few gigantic corporations who have a monopoly both on production and distribution of culture. Internet discourse has become tighter with an ever-shrinking Overton window, where an agreement with the hegemony is enforced by algorithms from the top down and mobs from the bottom up. Search engines filter out results which are not advertiser-friendly, and autocomplete to the configurations of phrases most regularly looked for. Headlines implore you not to read and understand the article below it, but rather click on it in order to comment at the bottom to boost engagements and continue feeding like vampires on the outrage of one another. As Alex Ross states in The New Yorker about our future, technology conspires with populism to create an ideological vacant dictatorship of likes.